Paul Schatz is with us, President, Chief Investment Officer at Heritage Capital. Paul Schatz, great to have you on. I mean, you've been doing your stock picks. I mean, what did you think? And they've been working throughout this year. I mean, we've had you on so many times throughout the year. Tell me what you thought of Jay Powell today. What was your takeaway and what happens next?
Always good to be with you. Thanks for having me. I thought the overall tone was pretty much as everybody expected. I was a little surprised that he had another short speech after last year. I thought it'd be a little longer and a little more detailed and involved. But similar to last year, his message this year wasn't as hawkish, clearly, as last year. Last year was basically, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. This year was a little more muted and tame, but it was basically a similar message he's given for a while. If we're almost done, I'm a little hawkish. I don't want to give the markets a green light until they need the green light. The markets don't need the green light, down 5%. Yeah. And there's probably, another rate, I call it another misguided rate hike coming, because the market, as per the 2-year note, has told us, the market sees that we don't need any more rate hikes.
Look, I want you to spin it forward. I agree with you. I think we got a lot of what we expected. I mean, I didn't hear anything today that really, the only thing that it said was, look, I might raise rates again. And we know that. So where do you stand on being an investor? And then I want to get to some of your picks.
Sure. Came into the year, I was full guns blazing. I thought it'd be a front-loaded year. Stocks go up at least 15 to 20% with an outside shot at 30. End of July, I tempered a lot of my enthusiasm. I'm like, look, got some cracks in the rally. A lot of bears went from super bearish to neutral. Some even turned positive. That was pretty much a yellow light for me to look for a pullback. In every strong bull market, that down 5% line is the first point where you go. If you're a bull, you say, look, we're down 5%. Many of the strongest bull market declines stop at down 5%. You got to be keenly aware at down 5, which you were at the end of last week. So right now, seasonally, we all know this is a weak time, August, September to early October. We normally see a couple of diffuse lows in pre-election years, end of August and kind of end of September-ish. So I'd like to see one more flush of the market below last week's low. That would cause me to commit significant risk capital. And that's where I am right now. We should put a bottom in this quarter. It should lead to a rip-roaring rally Q4 and into January above the highs we've already seen in 2023. So if you're a bear, bide your time, baby, because it's time for the bulls to buckle up for a big year-end rally.
Yeah, and I know AI is on your radar, and while your picks today are not AI-based, you did say you're keenly interested in this area. Maybe we'll see another AI frenzy. Look, and I'm asking you that question, we saw some great numbers from Nvidia. I know there was some profit-taking following. What are your thoughts?
I came home from a trip Wednesday night, and my son said, Dad, did you see Nvidia's earnings? So he'd been on AI and Nvidia for a long time. Frankly, I never understood it, to be candid. So my teenage son has to explain it to me. I said to him, it's not enough to know Nvidia's going to blow out to the upside, which is all he understood. I said it's about, more importantly, how is the stock in the market going to react? Market told us after Nvidia, look, I'm still tired. I'm still not ready, because we saw Nvidia open at its high, tech open at its high, close at its low. That tells you there should be further downside coming. I'm slowly starting to understand the AI story. I'm a little thick when it comes to that stuff, new age technologies, but we haven't seen the mania yet. What we saw in Q2 is just an appetizer. The real mania comes when we see the IPO market, if and when it ever opens up again. So those stocks, to me, you buy them in. We already own a bunch of them, thankfully, and maybe luckily. But I would say into weakness, you buy those stocks. You don't, after God knows how many 100% rally, close your eyes and buy them right before earnings. They're going to still pull back, buy small pieces into weakness. That story is so far from over, and there should be more of a mania building.
Yeah. Okay, look, I got to get to your picks. I mean, let's talk about Uber and Tegna. Well, Tegna, when we think about television stations, radio stations, where do you think Uber and Tegna are going?
So let's do Tegna first. Again, I always like to give viewers an off the beaten path, one that's a little unique in the market. Tegna's, to me, an oldie but a goodie. It was, so first, let's see. You have that election thing coming up in 2024. Tegna's huge in TV stations. We know it's going to be the most money ever spent on an election because that's what happens. There was an agreement to be taken over by Standard General. The takeover is in question because of antitrust and the government. The fundamental concerns are overblown in Tegna. They still have, $4 billion plus in equity. They're generating $500 million in free cash flow. To me, it's an easy buy here for a run into the low 20s, and you get that kicker of the election season. Even if the deal falls through, fundamentally, it's fine. Uber, everybody knows, the Uber name, Uber, Lyft, etc. But I had not been on the stock. It was a high-profile IPO. I like to wait for those IPOs to kind of collapse. I like to see the fundamental problems become apparent and then get fixed. We know that this month, Uber first quarterly profit ever. Analysts were expecting, break even and down a couple of pennies. They boosted guidance. That tells me they've certainly turned the corner. I'm late to the stock. I agree. I should have been on it earlier. I'm definitely late. This is no longer just a rideshare company. Everyone knows it's ubiquitous. Uber Eats. They bought Drizzly. They're not done. We'll talk about the heli rides and the plane rides. That's coming down the pike. Yeah. But I think this one is a $50 stock this year and maybe $70 next year.
Okay. Paul Schatz, it's great to see you of Heritage
Nicole, good
Capital.
seeing you as well.
Thank you so much.